and welcome to episode number 16 of the Nasty Metal Podcast. Alright, of course these always come out, especially I record these always around the end of the week, so I can get this out around, at least around the end of the month, basically. So usually these podcasts come out once a month, and put up around the end of the month. So since we are pretty much close to the end of the month, here it is. Again, episode number 16 of the Nasty Metal Podcast. So, what do I have lined up? Well, it almost feels like more of a shoot the shit kind of one. Again, just to basically take a quote or so from my good, or at least one of my good internet friends, that being the Heavy Metal Gamer, as far as podcasts. Most of the time, some of those he's got notes, or for the most part, if he's doing a live one, it's just usually shoot the shit. So that's why I use that term, because that's what this feels like. It's a shoot the shit kind of one. But I do have at least some topics here. For sure, one of the main topics is the Q&A segment. Yes, I think, I can't remember if there was a Q&A segment for the last one. I can't remember. Either way, we got one here, and that comes at least close to the middle here, but I'm going to just briefly run through what you're going to at least expect from the channel here. What is the scheduled content? Well, to tell you the truth, there really isn't much scheduled content. For one, there is a Album of the Week episode that will be out Monday. It will be a Album of the Week spotlight on War Master from Bolthor, which was their third album. Again, British death metal band. Again, that is episode number 113 of Album of the Week. So that is what's going to be next week's episode. As far as reviews, I'm still waiting on my copy of Death Dealin' from Vulture, the newest album from the German speed metal slash thrash metal, even though I actually more so consider them more thrash metal than actually speed metal. But in case, I guess they do tend to flirt with a lot more speed metal stuff, but again, or just straight up heavy metal. But they definitely are more thrashier, and they're just a good band. So I'm definitely just waiting for my copy, and then I'll finally review it. Hopefully I'm able to review it next week. Hopefully it's either by Wednesday or Friday. Either way, it's going to at least be reviewed next week. So again, a little bit of delay. It was supposed to have been this Friday. I was hoping to at least reviewed it this week, on either for Wednesday or or at least Friday, not Monday. But obviously, Amazon they were weird, and then whatever the hell USPS is doing, it's just taking a while. And of course, Monday being Memorial Day, so being a holiday, nothing comes in on Monday. So what the fuck? It's just ridiculous. All the damn delays. Still, it's there will be a review for it. But as far as anything else, who knows? Right now, everything is up in the air, so it's just uncertain what's going to be reviewed. But again, what you see on my channel is what you're going to end up getting, and hopefully it's enough to at least, to entertain you, keep you interested, maybe keep making you add in certain albums to your want list, because it always grows. Shit grows. So there we go. That's about it. So I guess it's pretty much ends the what's coming to the channel part of this podcast. So let's definitely get to it. Let's get to whatever the topics are. And my God, you would think you would have always something to at least be able to really take some time to talk about, at least for a podcast. But goddamn, by the time before you even get to even recording the podcast, for the past couple of weeks, shit just is. The whole entire within the realms or the world of rock and metal, and then of course the wrestling world, it's fucking never ending. There's just never ending stories. Dave Ellefson is at a Megadeth because of a leaked fucking video chat call, video shit between him and what what many people originally thought was a underage fucking girl turned out was at least of legal age, and he fucking decided to jack off. Literally, he fucking jacked off. He pulled out his goddamn pecker and just fucking jerked. But the thing is, turned out again, she was of legal consent and, well, or at least legal age. It was all, and apparently she come out and, oh god, I need to refrain from not using anything that might sound wrong, because of everything, any word I'm gonna be using almost sounds like it's wrong, especially for me being a male. But she apparently, pretty much asked for it. She was all kind of egging on Dave Ellefson anyways, so David Ellefson. She was already kind of getting him to do it anyways, so she was kind of sadly asking for it. And apparently she had no problem with it, but it just blew up. And of course, him still being married, it just made the whole matters worse. And then the person who leaked it onto Instagram, the way it was made out was like the guy had like he almost, like David Ellefson owed him something. Like he still owed him rent. He still owed him money. He was pissed. He had a vendetta against him, and it fucked his name up. And basically, Dave Mustaine had to perform damage control and just had to fire him. Basically, even though they're still on good terms, even though there was apparently Dave Mustaine apparently a year ago or so, I think was on. Or was it David Ellefson? One of them, I think, kind of said that the relationship wasn't completely great. I don't know what the hell any of them fucking meant by that, because obviously, just a day after it was that Dave Mustaine had announced that David Ellefson is no longer in Megadeth, David Ellefson replied back by saying that, no, we're still on good terms. It's probably for the best. So, whatever it is, it sucks. Because again, David Ellefson his bass playing was a core part of Megadeth. He was a core part of it. So, again, knowing that how Megadeth sounded without David Ellefson, you know how it sounded. It missed a certain element. It missed it. And of course, David Ellefson coming back until, 2011, 12? When 13 came out. So it brought back a little bit of the core sound, but of course the album wasn't the best. Still, and since then he was pretty much permanent back in the band until all this shit blew up. So what the fuck? And then whatever the hell else was happening within the realms of the music world. I mean, freaking John Schaefer is pretty much out of jail. He was let go, I think, on bail. So fuck. There's that. What else? Oh yeah, how about in the world of wrestling? How about the fact that New Jack passed away? Yes, just a year or so ago, he was also again, he was able to be alive to at least to do the fucking Dark Side of the Ring episode on his career, the life and crimes of New Jack. Again, whether or not you either liked him or at times loved him, or you just flat out fucking hated him because of what he did in the ring and the shit that got him in trouble and whatnot. I mean, I can go on and try and somewhat look at the middle ground between all the actions that was performed and try and make sense of some of it for why he never really went to prison. Still, either way, it was a little bit kind of a little sad in some cases. Yeah, it is what it is. Still, I was a little bit sad. Again, at least he was able to be alive to at least to be a part of the Dark Side of the Ring episode on his career, basically. Just to be able for him to tell his side of the stories and whatnot. Again, it's like now he was like the second one that was able to be a part of his Dark Side of the Ring episode to be able, to sadly pass away. Again, Animal of the Road Warriors. He was able to be a part of the Road Warriors episode for the Dark Side of the Ring, and then sadly, some way months later, he's sadly dead. But the thing is, with New Jack, isn't all that surprising given all the shit he did to himself. Like whether it be, he probably has, next to Abdul the Butcher, probably the most iconic forehead. Because all the shit he did to himself in the ring, whether it be all the death matches and all the fucking blood and the weapons, or whether it be the fucking staple guns, he really fucked his. You could tell it really made a piece of art on his entire forehead. Goddamn. And but again, all the drugs he did, he didn't really live probably the greatest fucking lifestyle. But if you were to ask him if he was still alive, especially if he was alive, he's like, you know what? I fucking lived it. That was New Jack. It was. He was all right with the fucking life he left. So him dying, it's like, hey, you know what? Fuck it. If I die early, I die early. Because then he was like, what, close to 50 years old? He was actually not that old, actually, when he died, I think. He was still pretty freaking, He was still a little bit on the young age, but you know it is what it is. Again, if you want to get a good idea of what New Jack was, whether or not if you end up coming out in the end hating him or despising him, or actually somewhat having a little bit of I guess appreciation, I guess a little bit of I wouldn't say respect, but not nearly as harsh. Again, just watch the Dark Side of the Ring episode on New Jack. Again, it's a goddamn entertaining one, but also at times a little bit hard to watch. Though it can't be any harder to watch than the one on fucking Nick Gage. My God, that guy. Who? I swear, Nick Gage makes New Jack. He made him look like he was probably fucking Buddy Rogers. It's just, what the fuck? There's a guy that I swear it was, I think the shit he did in the ring was far worse, even though it was almost on the same level. But the thing is, between the two, they both all kind of went to jail. But the thing is, Nick Gage served his time because he actually robbed a bank, and he wasn't masked. Yeah, and of course Moxley, also known as Dean Ambrose in the WWE, he had probably the best fucking thing to say. It's like, of all the times that Nick Gage would decide not to wear a mask, because he always wore a mask to the fucking ring, he decided not to wear one when he's robbing a bank. So what the fuck? Because again, he had to need money to buy his fucking meth or whatever the fuck he decided to completely destroy himself with. But the thing is, compared to New Jack, even though New Jack did some despicable shit in the ring, literally, but I can kind of, again, I want to completely go into all the mass transit stuff and all the other stuff that may have seemed like he was almost close to killing somebody. But the thing is, at least New Jack was a more entertaining person on the mic than compared to Nick Gage. Nick Gage is like one of those almost wannabe tough guys. It's like, hey, I'm fucking tough. That means I gotta sound tough. I gotta cuss a lot. Even though New Jack cussed, but the thing is, he at least had a little bit of extra sort of oomph or charisma to his voice, the way he said. But the thing is, he actually came off more believable compared to Nick Gage. Nick Gage was one of those that basically freaking Sons of Anarchy kind of shit. Like, yeah, I'm so fucking tough. No, I'm literally, okay, alright. He nearly died for 7 minutes and then came back to life. Literally. Again, that apparently wrestling some fucking guy up all the some deathmatch tournament all the way in the fields of Delaware. Wrestling some guy named fucking Thumbtack Jack from fucking Germany. And but the thing is that was more the stupidity though of freaking Nick Gage, because of all of them, they have to put up their fucking light tubes and shit and put it around the ring and be like, oh yeah, we're so fucking hardcore. We're tougher than anybody extreme that ever wrestled for Extreme Championship Wrestling. Not even Mick Foley was fucking tougher than us because we put ourselves through freaking light tubes and all sorts of glass shit. We're so tough. Well, he nearly fucking died because he cut an artery under his fucking armpit. And he wanted to and he thought he had so that he was so tough that he could get back up, let them try and get them to make him continue a fucking match, even though he would have died and literally would have stayed dead. So what the fuck? Again, they were looking out for him. They had this, since it was all the way, it was some out in the fields of fucking Delaware. They couldn't really be able to even get any sort of medical transportation via vehicle because of they weren't able to fucking drive through it. They had to get a helicopter to come and pick his ass up. But compared to New Jack, yeah, New Jack did some horrible shit, but it wasn't any fucking different than with Nick Gage. I mean, Nick Gage used a goddamn pizza cutter is one of his fucking matches. Pretty much close to slicing freaking Dean Ambrose in a fucking match. Really early on in Ambrose's career, when he was first using the John Moxley persona, and then the whole fucking match. Then years later, after Nick Gage had been out of prison, he had that match with David Arquette, which actually made headline news too, and even TMZ because of apparently David Arquette really thought he had his neck apparently slit. He thought he got his fucking neck or throat slit. But the thing is, Nick Gage, he tried to say, oh, he wasn't that cut. He was just acting like a goddamn crybaby pussy. And fucking went inside the late Luke Perry's car and they just fucking drove off. Yeah, that's what Nick Gage's response to that. That was his, basically him defending his fucking actions. Take a goddamn pizza cutter. So what's worse? New Jack taking whatever fucking weapons he had, a Wolverine-like fucking blade claw that he used to fucking hurt the fucking wrestlers with, or Nick Gage taking a pizza cutter, then broken light tubes to stab fucking people in the ring. And the thing is, they get away with this shit. They pretty much get away with fucking murder. So what's fucking different? At least New Jack was hella entertaining on the mic. And at least you can believe him. With Nick Gage, he's an absolute fucking psychopath too. So I choose who I decide to like in this fucking situation. So what the fuck? So let's definitely move on then. So that's all I have. Music world, fucking bullshit with what's going on there. David Ellefson and Megadeth. And oh yeah, how about William J. Thomas, the fucking guitar player for Warlord? Yeah, he sadly passed away just on May 13th at the age of 60, though. Still, looking at Metal Archives, it's not really saying what he really died of. I think it's never really been quite determined of what he died of. So, I mean, we all know of the wrestler like New Jack. I think it was a heart attack that actually killed him. And again, he was fucking active. New Jack was still active on social media. And not just long ago, he was actually commenting on pro wrestling's, what was it? I think it was called Pro Wrestling Stories or whatnot. And because they posted an article for the mass transit incident, and New Jack, his verified account, it was him on Facebook saying, yeah, I did it. I fucking made him famous or whatever. He had something to say, and people were like, "Oh fuck, it's New Jack." He was active, and he did cameos too with for a lot of people. Even someone purchased a cameo for him for Jim Cornette. So it was really funny there because again they have a history together. So he was active. Same thing I think with William J. Thomas. I think was also active still. So I think it's a little bit kind of crazy that he ended up passing away. Again, I covered some of Warlord's albums on this channel, some of the really earlier stuff. Again, for example, the Cannons of Destruction Have Begun, and then of course the Deliver Us EP. I reviewed both those as part of 2016's U.S. Power Metal Month. So there, if you want to find that, you can find that a part of the, again, I have a playlist for my US Power Man a Month review, so you can check all that stuff out on there. So, that's it. I guess there's really nothing else to really talk about. Just shit just happening within the world of metal and rock music and whatnot. Everything's just happening. So, I guess from here on out, let's get into the Q&A segment of this podcast, again, of episode number 16 of the Nasty Metal Podcast. Let's get into the Q&A, and we got one Q&A question, at least one question from, of course, one of my favorite subscribers, that being Stormrider. Stormrider, again, this was sent to me via Facebook Messenger, because that's what Stormrider decides to send me the messages, but which is cool. It's cool. Again, if you're friends with me, if you want to send me messages, again, you know about which platform to probably use if you want to send in any questions for me to answer as part of the Q&A segments for these podcasts here. So let's see what Stormrider has in store for me. What is the question? Well, apparently there are two questions here, but let's read this as it reads. Hello! As usual, here are two questions for the Nasty Metal Podcasts. I'm a big Scorpions fan, and because singer Klaus Meine turned 73 this week, I would like you to spotlight them a bit by ranking their albums from worst to best and why. And second, what do you think of KK Downing releasing a new album next month, after his so-called retirement from Judas Priest in 2010? Thanks and take care. Stormrider. Thank you for sending me those two questions. And to answer the first one real quickly, since I really don't own, I haven't really listened to a shit ton of Scorpions albums, at least anything past, for example, or I think anything in between the albums, in between, oh god, Face the Heat, and then before, I guess Sting of the Tail from 2010. Yeah, I anything between that I'm not familiar with. So that's a long gap. So me trying to pick up a best of the worst, at least ranking from worst to best, I'm probably going to end up really looking at least everything up to about 1993. Because of I'm more familiar with that era of stuff. Again, the classic period and then up to that. So, and I'll probably save that for an actual video instead. Because I know that they're still working on their new album, and I think I will definitely do a ranking of what I think is, the worst to best albums from Scorpions. Everything ranking from 1971 or 72 to about 1993. So that's why I'm going to do it, because I'm more familiar with that stuff. Everything between, I think everything that ends up going up to at least the last real studio album I feel from Scorpions was Return to Forever. So I'm going to be focusing. I won't focus on any of that stuff. So that's the way I'll be able to really tackle a worst to best list of Scorpions on how I'm ranking their albums, whether it be studio albums or live albums. So there we go. That's how I'm going to do it. So there, that answers that first question. Now let's get into answering the second question, which is basically how do I feel about KK Downing releasing a new album next month after his so-called retirement from Judas Priest in 2010, which was a part of the, the Epitaph tour. That was it. That was like kind of he dropped out during that tour, and then Richie Faulkner came in. So that's way, how do I feel about that? To be quite honest, I'm not fucking shocked. Okay, that's where I take over here. So thank you for sending me the questions, but I'm going to take over here right now and just answer that question here, since we're at least within close to 20 minutes here, hopefully, I think, on recording on this podcast. I can be able to take some time to really give my more in-depth talk, or at least opinions on KK Downing releasing a new album after, again, calling his so-called fucking retirement in 2010. Listen, I'm not surprised. I'm not. After the whole thing with Glenn Tipton, again, announcing that he had Parkinson's disease in 2018 or 19 or somewhere around there, after the Firepower album, you knew that KK Downing was probably going to he was going to make headlines again about, oh, how I didn't really retire. I just wanted to get out of Judas Priest for a bit. I just wanted to take a break. I didn't know they were going to do all that. And when Glenn Tipton was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, I tried to put my. I'm also there. I think that was one story. And then really, I remember the first story because that was the second one. After he had fucking said that, I'm surprised that they didn't try to contact me as a replacement for those tours to kind of fill in. I'm surprised they didn't fucking ask me. And then later on, he then said, well, of course I retired, but I tried to put my name to kind of to fill in for Glenn Tipton, my friend. So he always changed his fucking. He always changed up his answers. He always changed up his story. He always changed everything up. At this point, I don't know what the hell he wanted. To be quite honest, I don't know what he was really asking for. Again, he said he fucking retired in 2010 during the freaking Epitaph tour. He said he fucking left the band and he's retiring for good. That's the way he played it. And by the time Richie Faulkner came in, he had no fucking problem. But by the time Glenn Tipton decided to announce that he has Parkinson's disease is when KK Downing decides to backtrack on everything he did. And now he has, sounds like he's fucking bitter. And now that he wants to at least put on an album that is going to be in competition with Judas Priest. Why in the hell did you think he called his band KK's Priest? And why do you think he decided to then bring in to call former Judas Priest drummer Les Binks and then get Tim Owens? Again, it was actually, I can't remember whose, I think it was both KK Downing and Scott Travis that for when Rob Halford left Judas Priest, it was because again, and they were looking for vocalists. I know that freaking Ralph Sheepers of Primal Fear and Tyrant Pace and Gamma Ray. I know apparently he said that he tried to audition for the replacement of Rob Halford and Judas Priest, but it was their suggestion. It was Scott Travis, and I think as well KK Downing's. I knew for years it was Scott Travis's his suggestion to they have them check out Tim Owens to be the replacement. And eventually they liked Tim Owens over Ralph Sheepers. I guess because Ralph Sheepers sounded way too close to Rob Halford, whereas Tim Owens, he had that same sort of vibrato about him, but at the same time he was a little bit different too. He can be a little aggressive as well, but still really hit a lot of those notes, especially during those songs. He could still nail down the Halford era Judas Priest stuff. So I think it was their suggestions anyways to bring in Tim Owens. So I think, again, so that's why I'm not shocked that KK Downing decided to look into Tim Owens. I mean, he wasn't probably going to look into getting Al Atkins. Yeah, so whatever. But now, of course, for the new album, which is titled fucking Sermons of the Sinner. And again, probably a little bit of a throwback to the track Sinner off of Sin After Sin. But for the Sermons of the Sinner album, which is, again, it's the debut album, Les Binks is actually not even a part. He couldn't even participate in recording the album because apparently he hurt his fucking hand. He injured it. So he can't really perform. He wasn't able to perform on it. It was kind of it's a little similar situation what happened with Brian Robertson and Thin Lizzy into recording the Bad Reputation album. So it's kind of similar, even though he's kind of, I think, was about leaving the band anyways. But I think they were expecting him to record that album, but he hurt his fucking hand in apparently was supposedly was a bar fight. But in this case, I don't think Les Binks was able to participate in any bar fight, but he obviously injured it in some way, and he wasn't able to. So they had to get somebody to fill in for that. But as far as the song that was released, which is Hellfire Thunderbolt, again, right now, when it comes to a lot of the opinions around the track, because again, you got KK Downing who's trying to say, yeah, this is gonna blow away anything fucking Judas Priest has done in the over a couple of whatever. He was really hyping the shit out of the track. And when I heard it the first time, at first I thought it was okay. It sounds fine. It's okay. I mean, I wouldn't say it sounds anywhere near Jugulator or Demolition, but it definitely doesn't sound anything as great, let's say, after Painkiller, even though he's trying to go back to that sound. And Tim Edmonds definitely, he really can nail the sort of Painkiller era Rob Halford vocals. He really can. Better than I think Rob Halford can these days. Because again, Halford always has trouble really performing the track Painkiller, especially when I saw them live. Again, he always had issues kind of really performing that song because of how he pushed himself really vocally for that album for Painkiller. He really did. But Tim Owens, I think, at times flawlessly pulls it off at times way better than Halford can. And that's not really a way to knock Halford. It's just that over time, whatever thing you do in the past can't always be replicated, but some guys can these days, especially with given their age. But I think in some he can nail that stuff, but the musically it doesn't touch anything on that. And of course, I'm not gonna go and say that it sounds any fucking better than anything off of Firepower. I liked Firepower, and I kind of like this track too, because the more times I listen to it, the more times I kind of like it. But one of the issues I kind of would have with it, and it's only nitpicks, that it kind of does sound a little generic sounding, but it can't be any more whatever people thought was generic sounding about Firepower, so whatever. But one of the things that I do want to briefly talk about, and it's really more of a knock on the fans this time, on some of the opinions or whatever, their thoughts towards some of this track. I've seen a lot of thoughts saying that how this is the true Judas Priest. More true than whatever is now that's going to pass for Judas Priest. Even though, technically, right now for the album, there's only one really original founding member of Judas Priest and KK's Priest. That being KK Downing. Whereas in Judas Priest, you do have one fucking original member left in there that at least was a founding member. That being, of course, Ian Hill. But then you got the most iconic voice in all of rock and metal to begin with, that being Rob Halford. He's the one he's the most, the biggest character as part of Judas Priest. I mean, whether or not he was original member is up for fucking debate. But the thing is, because of being the voice of Judas Priest for so long, it became iconic that you can't really take away his voice away. You can't. It's a part of the Judas Priest sound, besides that team of Glenn Tipton and KK Downing. But for KK's Priest, and for people to say how this is the real Priest, they probably saw that when they saw, again, Les Binks and KK Downing. But the thing is, Les Binks wasn't even a fucking original member too. So, I mean, as far as a founding member, he wasn't a founding member. He was definitely a part of some classic albums with Judas Priest, that being only 2 albums at least. That being Stained Class and Killing Machine / Hellbent for Leather, and of course the classic live album Unleashed in the East. So, how can you really call him much of an original other than he was a part of some classic albums, and he was a very great drummer. Him and Scott Travis are 2 of the best drummers, and maybe even also Simon Phillips. They were both fucking great musicians. They were great ingredients to Judas Priest's sound. But, once again, to argue the point that KK's Priest is the real Priest, I don't know. It's almost 50-50 because of, you'll get the lineups for both bands. Yeah, Glenn Tipton at this point couldn't participate in any of those shows, is because of, for one, Parkinson's disease, and 2, why they also couldn't get anybody else a part of it is because, again, fucking KK Downing said he fucking retired. He said he fucking retired, and so they thought that he retired. So they felt like, fuck, if he retired, then we can't really ask him, or he's probably going to decline. Who knows? That's what they thought. That was their mindset. And so for KK Downing to act like that he's fucking bitter, then he should have announced that he was retired and should have said he's just taking a break. He's not fully retired. He just wants to be at a priest for a while. If they replace him with the flesh blood, that's fine. But whenever you need that call, though, about me again, like with Cliff Williams. Cliff Williams is trying to say that he's retired, but the thing is he also wouldn't mind really being a part of any of AC/DC shows if they need really somebody to fill in. That's, again, to really make any of the shows great. Again, he has no problem being next to the phone whenever they need to call him. KK should have done this fucking same thing. He should have put it out there. Instead, he decided that, no, I'm retiring for good, basically. So, how the hell can he then pull out this freaking psychology fucking bullshit that, they should have called me. They should have. You retired. So, enough of the fucking little, the petty bitterness. Still, as far as the lineups, now, it's really no different. Richie Faulkner and, of course, Andy Sneap, who then began producing their stuff with Firepower, he also used to play guitar. Again, he played guitar in a band called Sabbath, though not to be confused with the Japanese Sabbath, the Sabbath from Britain, the thrash metal band, though they were both kind of thrash metal bands anyways. But he was best known for playing for them, and then, of course, he then was a part of the kind of a very underground cult new wave British heavy metal band called Hell. Because again, Dave Holliday, who was the late member for that band, actually trained Andy Sneap to play instruments. He actually helped train him to play guitar. So that's why he's been in 2 bands, and so he knew it's like, hey, I know how to play guitar. I can fill in. So he did it out of generosity. It wasn't a way it's like, oh, I'm replacing a member. It was just to fill in fucking dates. Just the people decide to take it to heart that, oh my god, there's almost no other original member left in the fucking band. But yet these same fucking people, the same one that are trying to claim that KK's priest is the true fucking priest, yet there's still almost no other original members other than fucking KK Downing. How the hell is your argument any clearer or more truer when you're just almost what the shit you fucking knocked Judas Priest for is the same thing you're praising for KK Down, you goddamn cocksuckers. Fuck you. You have no right to even claim that. It's not facts. It's just goddamn blind worshipness. And so I think it's absolutely pathetic that a lot of these people are going to say, oh, this is not the true fucking priest. Yeah, but now they're fucking saying something else now. They got it. It's now there's a different tune with these goddamn fucking blind sheep. The fucking sheeple that want to try and yank on KK Downing's fucking dick, basically. They want to yank on his dick all fucking night, hoping that it actually jizzes out and gets in their fucking mouth so they are at least happy that, yeah, man, fuck you. Goddamn idiots. So now there's probably a different tune. It's like, oh, this is so generic. I was expecting something else. You know what? Fuck them. Fuck them. If they're going, just, you know what, for these people, they need to at least wake up and smell reality. Not everything is going to touch any of those classics. They can't. Nothing can. It's a different time period. It's not fucking 1982 anymore. Sure, there's a lot of younger bands that are trying to really recreate that sound and do fine. But if you are expecting the original bands to really try and recreate that sound, sometimes it's not going to be fucking easy because of shit changes. The musical climate or the whole entire landscape changes. And so for them, if they want to stay relevant, I guess they have to always go after something. They have to go for something else. You know why? Because it's been like that since the fucking 70s. It's been like that for much longer. You can't expect the same band to sound the same. Oh, wait a minute. I think that's AC/DC. But yeah, people like to give them shit for always trying to go for the same fucking thing for every year. Yet, they want to complain about other bands for not trying to sound like Screaming for Vengeance or fucking British Steel or even Stained Class. What the fuck is with these people? Can they make up any of their mind? Can any of them make up their mind? I guess they really can't. So you know what? I might as well just try and get myself a freaking battering ram, take it to 20 of their fucking houses, and hopefully that when one of them opens up, I can fucking just launch them into the freaking moon or the fucking sun so they can just burn up. Jackasses. Fucking jackasses. So make up your fucking mind. Is this the true Judas Priest or is this another fucking clone? Whatever. Assholes. So there, I ranted. I ranted about it. And also, once again, KK Downing, I'm sorry, but you retired. You said that you retired. You made it a statement that you retired back in 2010. So you have no right to fucking pull your fucking psychological bullshit and mind tricks and say, oh, they should have called me. They should have called me. Fucking idiot. Still, I'll probably check out the album when it comes out and see if it's any great. But I'm not expecting any classic album. If anything, it's just going to sound like more of a sister album, The Firepower. I guess that's going to be blasphemy because of its KK Downing. It's going to sound better than Firepower, you know. You know what? Go to be immature, since most these idiots are trying to be fucking immature. I'm gonna stoop to your fucking level. Come on. How about I just pull out my fucking pants then and just show you my fucking ass, and I hope that you kiss it, dicks. So there we go. I ranted. I want to go on any further. Who knows? I might get who knows. I want to say demonetized because this channel ain't fucking monetized. I'm not up for money. I don't really have any fucking ads. But if anybody else wants to act like they've been offended, then you know what? They can take it up with my ass because at least it's the only one that actually gives a shit. So there we go. All right. So what else? I guess that's where it is. Thank you for the questions. I hope that answers all of it. Again, I'm brutally honest with what I am. I'm brutally honest with some of this shit. Okay? I'm brutally honest with whatever I say. Whatever comes out of my mouth is what comes out of it. You don't like it, then tough shit, pal. It's my channel. It's not yours. Go find another channel that actually caters to your fucking feelings. Alright? And hopefully you can stay in your goddamn safe space. Fucking dickheads. And no, if you're going to try and pull it, then I'm fucking conservative, right-wing fucking jackass. No, I'm not. I'm not even left-wing or anything. I am basically independent, basically. I'd rather go to be in the middle ground. I'm more independent, okay? I don't really follow any fucking political party, so don't try and even pull that psychological bullshit on me, too, if you have any of that shit to throw back at me, which I'll throw it back at you, you goddamn jackass. So there we go. There we go. Thank you for sending in the questions. So again, I'm looking forward to Sermon of the Priest, but at the same time, or Sermons of the Sinner, excuse me, it could have been Sermons of the Priest. For all I know, it is KK's Priest, but Sermons of the Sinner. Alright. That ends it. There we go. If you want to send in any questions for me to answer, whether or not you're going to like the answer or not, you can still send it to me to at least my nastymetal@gmail.com, which you also are going to see that same link in front of your screen. So if you want to send me any questions for me to answer as part of a Q&A segment for these Nasty Metal podcasts, there you go. And of course, it's even in the description box. It's everywhere. You can send me that, or you can even have it as a comment for me to read. And I'll probably get back to that whenever I get to recording episode number 17 of the Nasty Metal Podcast. And if you're friends with me on Facebook, you can message me via Facebook Messenger for whatever question you want me to answer on any of these Q&A segments for the Nasty Metal Podcasts. So there we go. I hope all of you enjoyed this one. Hope you did. I hope all of you had some good fucking popcorn, because it definitely got a little juicy in a way with my freaking ranting. Whether or not it's intelligent or not, I don't care. I just go off the cuff with my fucking arguments or whatever, or just my absolute brutally honest opinions. I go off the cuff because at least it's not being written in a way. I know some people once probably would think that it would be great to really to script an argument, but you know what? In the world of professional wrestling, some of the best promos are not really cut. Are not cut from somebody who just written it. Whether it be from some fucking hack from Hollywood who's writing these promos for these wrestlers, or if it's sometimes the wrestlers that are writing it themselves. Sometimes it's great when it's just off the cuff, because at least it's coming straight to your head and you know what comes out. It's always best like that. It's natural. So there we go. That's how I basically am here to somewhat sum it up of why my arguments are the way they are and why they come out the way. They're just better that way. I feel that's why they are. Off the cuff. It's fucking, it's shit. And of course someone say, oh, so you're really trying to cut a promo? No, I'm not. It sounds like it. It's probably a much more better fucking promo you're going to get from some guy on like Monday Night Raw these days. But still, it is what it is. It comes from somewhere. It ain't just coming from, at least from whoever the fuck is telling me to say something. I don't have a teleprompter in front of me that is being typed up by some goddamn little jackass in the back who thinks that I need to say this. This is what you need to say on your fucking channel. Nobody runs it. I took that fucking survey that YouTube gave me and I said there's only one person. There's only one person that runs this channel, and it's me. It's me that runs this channel. Nobody else runs it. It is me that runs it. Got a problem with having one person running their own fucking channel and yet think that, and they're trying to make an argument, well, that's why your channel ain't being so successful. Then you know what? I'm fine with that. It's only one person. I'm able to do the duties to fucking pull it off. So there we go. Hope all of you enjoyed. I'm going to end this before I go any further. So with that, this is episode number 16 of the Nasty Metal Podcast. So with that, again, I won't be able to record episode number 17 until the end of next month. So with that, until then, this is Heavy Thrasher saying I am out. And I'll see you all later. Take care, everyone.